Today for our National Apprenticeship Week podcast, we are joined by 3 apprentices from Amazon. Can I ask you to introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, so hi, I'm Sarah. I'm a project manager degree apprentice at Amazon, and I'm actually a former student of Logic Studio School, so I've come back here today on the podcast.
That's amazing. Welcome back.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you so much for having me and us. I'm Asma. I'm also a project management degree apprentice at Amazon. Happy to share a bit more about my role, I guess, further down.
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
Welcome.
Yeah, hi, I'm Zainab. I'm also a project management apprentice, and I work at Amazon. So yeah, it's lovely to be here.
Thank you. So you are all on a degree apprenticeship programme, aren't you? Okay. So can I ask you, what made you decide to pursue the apprenticeship route rather than the university route, Sarah?
Yeah, so I mean, for me, it was quite of like a long process. It wasn't like a quick decision, be like, snap, I'm going to do an apprenticeship. I think back when I was at school, I was more focused on the university route. I would apply. I was very much into like law and business. At the beginning, it was kind of a mix. But I guess at the end, when I got my results back and I got some university offers, I just got the kind of like fright. I don't want to go straight into university and just do academic learning. So I took a gap year.
Okay.
Had a job, built up some money, of course, and just did more research into other routes that I can take. And my brother actually did an apprenticeship, so he gave me some insights on what else I could do. And that whole year I spent researching into apprenticeships, what kind of industries offer apprenticeships, and what I would be more interested in. So yeah, it was a year-long process for me, combined with school, but I got here in the end.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's a good example of sometimes you take a little bit of time to get where you want to get to, don't you? And that's okay, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Asma, what about yourself? What was your journey into the apprenticeship?
Honestly, there wasn't really much of a journey. I think I always thought I wanted to go to uni, as most people at the time thought they did want to. But I was really, really lucky with the fact that my school were huge advocates for apprenticeships. And I really got on with my heads of sixth form, and they did encourage us to look at other options as well as uni. So I did go down the traditional route of applying to university. I actually applied for business management and marketing, which is kind of similar to what I'm doing now. So maybe I always knew. But I also was exploring apprenticeships alongside that. And then, to be honest, I saw the offer from Amazon, and it was kind of a given. There was no really reason to say no. So not really much thought behind it, just jumped straight in, and I don't regret it at all.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you. Zainab.
Yeah, no, I took a similar route to Asma, so I was a post-school leaver. I went into apprenticeship. I was going to apply for politics and international relations, and so I got my offers from uni and stuff, but I just felt like it wasn't really for me. I wasn't really solid in my idea of going to uni. So I was just am I kind of committed to doing 3 years and paying for a degree that I don't think I want to use afterwards?
Yeah.
So my sister actually was like, oh, why don't you look into an apprenticeship? And at the time, I feel like apprenticeships weren't kind of the main focus. So I just kind of looked over the government website and I saw Amazon was providing apprenticeships, and I was like, you know what, what's the worst can happen? And then I got the position, and I was like, fair enough.
Amazing.
Yeah.
What I'd quite like to ask you, because we hear some statistics about how many apprenticeships young people might have to apply for in order to secure that one role. So can you share maybe how many you applied for, Sarah?
Yeah, I applied to loads. I don't have a specific number, because I just remember creating a list, a graph, and what stage I was at for which apprenticeship.
Yeah.
And at the beginning, I did feel I'm applying to so many apprenticeships I'm not getting, and maybe this is a sign.
Yeah.
But I always say to people don't let that knock you down, because Amazon was actually the last apprenticeship I applied for.
Okay.
And I was like, that's it, that's what I'm going to go for, and then I'm going to take a long summer break.
Yeah.
And then I got in, and I did take a long summer break before starting this 3-year journey.
Yeah.
So I would say to people just because you don't get the first or the second doesn't mean you're not going to get the last. And I'm so glad I didn't give up on that, because I wouldn't be where I am today if I did.
Yeah, absolutely. So you need a certain amount of resilience, don't you,
Exactly,
to navigate this process?
100%.
Yeah. And Asma?
I'm like type A to my core. So I literally like had like spreadsheets upon spreadsheets of like what I was applying to, what interviews I was getting. And like I honestly wasn't very worried. Like I am a big worrier, but I didn't worry too much. Because it's so quick, and also like at the same time you're doing your A levels, you're like you've got so much going on that like post A level, that's like it's the first and last thing that you're thinking about at that stage. Having said that though, I want to say I applied to Amazon pretty much when it came out. Like I want to say that I would have been one of the earlier ones to apply for it. Not for any reason, like I just saw it on Indeed and I was like, okay, I'm going to apply. And then I heard back from them like maybe like 3 months later or something. So like pretty quick turnaround, I'd say. And then once I'd got that offer, I also got an offer from Vodafone. So I was like weighing up the two options, but then I just kind of preferred this option. So I would say like roundabout, I applied maybe to like 30, 35. So like not as many as maybe other people, but also like quite a fair few.
Yeah. Okay. Lovely.
Yeah, I had a bit of a different like experience in terms of like I had my university offers, so I was like, okay, I'll just go to uni. Like I don't have the mindset right now to like start like applying to apprenticeships. But then my sister was just like, just go ahead and just do it. So I was one of like kind of the later ones. So I actually applied to Amazon like a week before the actual application like closed. And I think I applied to like maybe 5 or something like that. And it's not even to say like everyone else's dedication wasn't to it. But yeah, I applied to 5 and that's just kind of was my experience. I did get another offer from another company, but just kind of with knowing where Amazon is, it was just kind of the best way for me to go like get my foot in the door. But yeah, so I did have a little bit more of a different experience, but I mean, all the more they're all the same, kind of, we all came to the same outcome, but
Yeah. And so you are all at the same stage. So you all started at the same stage. You're studying a degree apprenticeship in project management. And you are fortunate enough for that to be linked with the University of Exeter, which was one of the Russell Group universities. So can you explain to me, like, how does that work with your, like, what does your working week look like versus like how you are actually sort of studying for your degree?
Yeah, so obviously in an apprenticeship you do your like full-time role alongside your like studying towards the qualification that you get at the end of it. So we get Fridays as our study day type. So it's 20% of our like job time.
Yeah.
And that's where we have like our webinars, like do our assignment writing and everything at the time we need to reach that qualification. So it is a lot. It's not to say it's easy, you just do Monday to Thursday job and then a Friday you do studying. It is like a mental battle sometimes. And like, will I get it done in this Friday? Will I need some other time? But I think working with like my team is great with that, and then working with other people and having people in the cohort as well is really nice as like a support system. But yeah.
I'd say a similar thing, but I will caveat that your week is what you make your week. And like if you're transparent with your like management, obviously you do have to like take into account that you might get very lucky with your management. And like I would say that I'm very lucky. I get on really, really well with my team. So some weeks, honestly, you'll have nothing to do on a Friday, and like that's so fine as long as you're communicating that like this week I'm a bit light on the ground, like I have a bit more time to like maybe put in a bit more into work. But then you might have one week that's like, actually no, I really need to like get my head down with uni. I like have quite a bit of like deadlines to get on with, and like that might be a lighter like week with work. So I think because that was one of the things I was really worried about when I was applying to an apprenticeship, because I didn't want uni. So I was a bit worried going to an apprenticeship that like, isn't it just the same thing if I have a study day on a Friday? But honestly, in my experience, really, it's not. Like it honestly is what you make your week, and like how honest you are and how good you are at communicating that like, actually I need this time to like, just like take it for myself. It is really overwhelming. So like take that time.
Yeah. So those communication skills and having the confidence to be quite open and honest about your work.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And what about you?
yeah, and I will say that we are like really fortunate that our lecturers from Exeter actually come to the Amazon office to provide. Yeah, so it's like I think every like other month maybe we have a masterclass, which is kind of like 2 days of like full studying from like 9 to 5, basically, of just full like kind of doing the kind of meaty parts of our education, and then on the Fridays you have the hour webinar and like the time to spend on your assignments. But I will say, like, it is kind of difficult. Like, you have to balance a full-time job with, like, almost a full-time, like, kind of uni clear it. Like, but as, like, Asma was saying, you need to like make it super clear with your managers. Like this week, I have an assignment coming up. I think I'm going to spend 2 hours each day to kind of work on my assignment, so I don't have to like work on it on a Friday or on my weekends as well. Which guaranteed you probably will have to like you work on a Saturday or anything, like just like you would in any other place.
Yeah.
But I feel like you just have to be very transparent and kind of good on your time and get things done like pre-deadline, because I know the Sundays when I have like the assignment coming and I'm like, oh, I should have done it last week. But no, I think it's good that also they come and kind of give the support in person as well. And then we also sometimes visit them in Exeter for like our exams, for example, and stuff. Like, yeah, I know it's good.
So it's not just all coursework.
Yeah.
Project management degree. You've got actual exams as well.
Yeah, so it's to get our like project management qualification. I have to do some exams, yeah.
Okay. And is it 3 years of studying, or is it longer?
Yeah, 3 years in total because it's an integrated apprenticeship.
Right. Okay. Fine. So, but like, and you are coming up to you're in your last year now, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. And then what do you hope will sort of be your next step after you've all finished your degrees?
I think it's the hot question. Like, honestly, like, I don't know. I think we're really, really lucky that we've started in like a company that are such big advocates for like early careers.
Yeah.
So like, it's not just that we've been like a junior like something at a career. Like we've really been like looked after in that sense, but also like there will be situations where we've been challenged. So I would say that like it's quite a good like balance of like, okay, cool, like some people I know are really like absolutely no corporate after this. Like some people really want to go the other way, and like that's completely fine. Like people do have like that's what the apprenticeship is for, to figure yourself out. The same way that some people may go to uni and not want to do anything to do with what they studied at uni. But I think like personally for me, I'm really enjoying project management. I really, really like it as a career. It's such a broad career. So quite lucky in the fact that like lots can come from it. But it's almost too early right now to start applying or thinking about like next steps. So in the works at a minute.
And so if you were going to like give some advice to the students like sitting here today, what are the skills that you felt were important like to get you into the role and to like demonstrate in the application process, but equally like what do you feel are the skills that you've really developed within the roles?
I mean, I'll start off by saying that when I first started applying for apprenticeships, I didn't think to use any skills that I got from like small work experiences I did from like being at school. Like I worked at a nursery, I worked at like a dance school, I did some babysitting on the side. But it's all about those transferable skills that you might not thought about employers care about at all.
Yeah.
But when like looking back at my journey for like having those skills that I got from those like experiences, like just even like communication and like in nursery with children, like even that, like
Yeah.
it really does like portray such like skill that you can use in a workplace as well. So I would even go for those basic skills like communication or organization, just like how you're planning out Eurovision timetables or something for your A-levels. Like it's all those like main core skills that you wouldn't think have such a difference, but the way you portray those skills and how you like develop those skills throughout your work experiences throughout school really do help guide and shape your way into the future. So yeah, that's my advice. Just use those transferable skills, guys.
I would say very much the same thing. I honestly am like, have always my whole life been the loudest person in the room, and I've taken that into work, and I would say it's my like superpower. So like something that like at school I was always told off like in parents' evenings for like, she's really good at school but like she chats a lot. But honestly I would say that like my biggest feedback at work is that like I am able to like have a chat with anyone, and like I'm really good at networking, and like you will hear that word networking so much, but honestly like it is my superpower, and I'm not afraid to like show off my superpower. So like don't be scared to be like the loudest person in the room, or like don't be scared to be like, if you have a skill, really flaunt that skill. Don't be embarrassed to do that or think that like people think you're trying to be something you're not, because honestly everyone in that room is going to do the same thing. So I would say like, yeah, like don't be afraid to like be yourself, but you being yourself may not be like being loud. That's just my example.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, that's really good. It's just like believing in yourself. Yeah. Okay. Zaina?
Yeah, I think I will say for like the application process, because I'm not sure like if anyone kind of spoke about it. But one thing that I found kind of like, I don't know, helped me in my like application process is actually reading about the company like on their website and kind of using the language that they use.
Right.
It kind of just shows that you've like taken that effort to kind of like, you actually know what the company's about. I know at the end of the day, we all kind of just want the job, and that's kind of like the main purpose of why we're applying. But sometimes when you just kind of show that you've just gone that extra mile, it kind of just like makes a big difference in the range, because they're like, oh, this person is able to kind of just research just a tiny bit, like a 5 minute, just what is Amazon about? And then just using that language and saying like, oh, I just love that you guys are interested in these projects and stuff like that is kind of like a really good like way to kind of show that you're interested and that you're ready to kind of take it on.
Yeah.
And then also just like Asma was saying, like, don't sell yourself short. Like, this is an opportunity to flaunt yourself. Like, do the most that you can to do it. Everyone else, and like you'll have in the application process, you'll do like a team activity. Like, don't be afraid to be like, hey, like this is me, and like sell yourself and just be like that, because everyone else in the room will do that same thing.
Yeah.
But also don't like lose yourself in the process of like kind of applying and like being like, oh, I have to do this, I have to do this. Just really sell who you are, because that's what you're going to be the best at. But yeah, that's kind of my advice, I think.
Yeah. Excellent. And for project management, were there any particular subjects or grades that you had to demonstrate that you had to apply for a project management apprenticeship?
I was very like literature at school, so I did like English Lit and Lang, history and media studies, which is like honestly not business at all. I've never ever done business, like GCSE never. So like I would say the transferable skills that I took academically would have been like just like time management, like essay writing. I don't know if anyone does essay writing, but like if that is something that you do, there's lots of things from that you'll take into project management with like analysis and like just like being able to prioritize things and things like that. So I would say don't worry too much about what you've done at school. That's for project management anyway. I don't know what other apprenticeships may be like, but
Yeah, I think
I had no problem.
for me, I did like a different range of different A-level subjects. I did business A-level, and then I did Spanish, and then English Lit and Lang as well. But I think I did talk about those in my application process, but I think what they really wanted to see was my curiosity to learn. I think that's like one of the most important things that people miss. They don't want to see maybe your ability in something, because that's the purpose of an apprenticeship, to build your ability up whilst working, so you get that real life experience. But they want to see that you have the curiosity to learn and the curiosity to be committed to the program, because it isn't, again, an easy program to be a part of. Like, it's 3 years of doing a full-time role as well as being a full-time student. So if you don't have that commitment, and if you don't have the intention to be organized, do your assignment writing, and be the best at your job as much as you can, then you're going to lead yourself to failure. I think you go in there with the intention to commit, be curious to learn, like ask those questions in your team, because there'll be so many things that you have no idea about. But don't be ashamed to be kind of like stupid, like feeling stupid in that way, because there are still some things I ask my manager and even Zainab and Asma. Like every time I catch them up, like, I heard this in a meeting, like, do you guys know what that means? Because it's just, you won't know everything. And especially at Amazon, there's so many different like words or like, I don't know, like theories that they talk about, where I'm just like, I have no idea what it is. But that's the purpose of learning and being on an apprenticeship as well. And it's good that you have those support networks that will like be happy to help you. So again, be curious to learn, because I'll definitely be looking out for that. Yeah.
And were you kind of like at all apprehensive about working for like a brand like Amazon, you know, in comparison to maybe applying for an apprenticeship in a smaller local company? Like, I don't know, how did that make you feel, and how does it make you feel now when you say, I'm a degree apprentice at Amazon?
I mean, I think it was scary at first. I think like where would I be working at Amazon? Like, I didn't realize, like, I knew Amazon was big, but I didn't realize it was so big. And like we work in different parts of like the business. Like, I work in operations, for example, and they both work in corporate.
Right.
But like you think it's big, but it's even bigger than you think. I think so. It's like you won't know until you get into the company. But I think it's also great because, like Asma touched on before, like networking. Like, there is such a big network at Amazon. So even though I'm like coming to the end of my apprenticeship, like looking for those careers and looking for those jobs, like, you just need to talk to people to see what role other people in, what part of the business other people are in, because it might interest you in something else. But yeah, that's how I felt.
I think when I kind of like was coming into it, I honestly thought that I was going to be more of like a kind of glorified PA. Like, I don't know, I just thought like, and I thought I was going to be more like inclined with my cohort, and like we were just going to be a group of like little apprentices kind of just like in a team.
Yeah.
But I will say, like, we've done so much more than I would have expected at all. Like, you really do get treated as like an employee, like you are working, which is like honestly so great, because you get that kind of skills and you get that opportunity to really showcase yourself. Like, you have so many opportunities to like speak to VPs and people who really kind of lead the company, that you wouldn't have like expected from before. And those are the people who like kind of make the choices, the big choices, and you get that visibility from them. So yeah, you really do like kind of actually work, and like you do get to own a lot of the projects, especially like you get to be a project manager and you get to own your own project, which is really, really cool. And I think we're coming up to our last year, so we have our own like endpoint assessment like project.
Oh yeah.
So we're all going to be like kind of leading our own projects, which is really, really exciting. But yeah, you definitely get the work.
Yeah. So it sounds to me like you actually have like real responsibility.
Yeah,
within that days. And that can be quite sort of like daunting if you think like when you're coming from a classroom like this environment. So what one piece of advice would you give to students to like on that first week in the workplace? You know, like say for example, hopefully they're going to be successful in securing an apprenticeship. Like, yeah, what would you say for like when they start that role and they're in the workplace? What advice would you give them?
Yeah. I think my biggest piece of advice, which kind of like goes against what you're saying about working, I would say use that first week to not work. Use that first week to make friends and like really like just put yourself out there, ask questions. And like if you're given things by your manager, by your team, which is unlikely, but if you are given things in that first week, obviously do them, but also just caveat that it is my first week. I really want to like see what's at Amazon or whatever like company you might be applying for, but I really want to see what's out there. I really want to understand like what else it like, you know, what who's my team. I really want to understand what roles are, because when I joined Amazon I didn't know what certain like roles even meant. I didn't know what a project manager was. I honestly had no idea. So like take that time, take that first 2 weeks, like really get familiar with your like get your foot in the door, and then like try and worry about like getting busy, you know?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I agree. I think the first week also you won't have that much work to do at all. Like
Yeah.
you would be sitting there doing trainings, and I remember myself being like, oh my God, I just can't wait to kind of get into the work and stuff.
Right.
I now look back and I was like, I wish I had just gave myself the chance to just kind of like familiarize myself with the place, just kind of learning like all the acronyms that they use, the language they use. Like it's a lot, like, and all like different teams use different wordings and stuff. So I think it's really important to kind of, like Asma said, to really take the time for yourself, to get in with your cohort, because they will kind of be in a similar position as you. Like your teammates, although they like have you in the team, it's not also the same experience because they're not studying on the side.
Yeah.
So really to have that kind of support system, and then also to like kind of learn as much as you can, have those meetings with your team, find out what everyone's doing, find out the kind of work that's been done like before you kind of just like jump straight into it. You'll really, really like thank yourself in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Sarah, as an ex-student of Logic, what would you say to the year 13s that are sitting here now, just based on your experience?
Yeah.
And also kind of like your experience of like the support that you got here at Logic as a student?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely got the support that I needed. I think even I took a gap year and I still came back to the school and got support from the teachers here. I was set on applying to university, and I came back here and I asked for their support on that. But then I kind of did more research into the apprenticeship. So it was a bit like back and forth journey for me. But I would say it was great to come back here, have a chat with the teachers about my current situation. And then that kind of, I guess, led the way for me to go out into my own and do that research that you honestly need to do by yourself, because no one can tell you what you're meant to do. I feel like I can be like, that's a bad habit of myself. I'll be like, someone, please tell me, like, what do you think I should do? Like, and like Zainab and Asma will know that. But I think you really got to like take time to reflect on yourself, look into an apprenticeship, sometimes a university will be for you. And that's okay to go down the traditional route, especially because of this rows about apprenticeships being like the best thing, which I do advocate for apprenticeships a lot. But then if university is for you, do go for it. No one can tell you what is the best option for you, but do that research, look into different companies, what they offer. And I feel like just go with an open mind and don't feel embarrassed to have to apply to even 100 of apprenticeships. Like, even if you got to apply to 1,000, it doesn't matter as long as you get to where you want in the end. Like, I know before at the beginning, I was quite ashamed to say I did apply to loads. Do you know what I mean? Where it's like, I'll meet some people and they'll say, oh, I just applied to Amazon, and be like, oh, great. Like, we had different journeys, definitely. But
Yeah.
I guess now I feel it's more rewarding for myself as well, because I did the work that I did to get here.
Yeah.
And I'm nearly finishing as well with a degree that is fully funded for Amazon. So I've had no cost to it at all. And with 3 years of work experience as a project manager in such a big tech company. So I don't regret anything. And yeah, be open-minded, do that research, and go to your teachers at school and the early careers team, and to have those conversations that you might not be able to get with other people. So yeah.
Well, thank you. I'm so grateful for you to all share your stories today. It's been really valuable.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, really well, like good luck on this final little part of your journey to getting your degree, and in the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us. Yeah.
Very welcome. Thank you.